It's time for today's Bulldog Conversation, presented by the Samford Sports Network.
I'm sitting in the Pete Hanna Center with Sean Wright, director of the Pete Hanna Center, and actually more specifically, we're in the arena of the Pete Hanna Center. Thanks for joining us here. It's great to sit down and talk with you in your own building.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for coming over.
The big thing on Samford's campus starting Tuesday is a big tournament. I don't want to go into too many details. I'll let you do that. What is this tournament exactly?
The tournament that will start up is the T-Mobile Invitational. It's a national high school basketball tournament. It's the nation's most prestigious high school basketball tournament. There'll be 8 teams here, 2 from the state of Alabama, the Hoover girls and the Butler boys, and 6 other teams have made their way into town from California, Texas, Washington State, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. And these are the nation's best teams. 7 of the 8 were ranked in the preseason rankings. There's about a dozen Division I prospects who will be here. And the big thing is this is the only tournament certified by the National Federation of High Schools. So you won't see the prep schools that are quasi-high schools. These are real high school students coming here to play. And so we start tomorrow, 4 games, and then consolation and championship games the next day, game time of 1 o'clock, and we'll have this place ready to go.
Wow, and a lot of high quality action from high schoolers on this floor here. Talk a little bit about what that means for Samford as a university to have an event like this here.
It's huge to have an event like this here at the Hanna Center and on the Samford campus. You're talking about people who have never been to the Samford campus who are being exposed to it both locally with our local schools and people coming in from out of state this is our opportunity to not only see Birmingham but to see Samford, see the Hanna Center, and it's not just about the players as well as their brothers and sisters and other people from the schools, and people go back to their hometowns and talk about the great experience they had at Samford. And if you can help draw some prospective students, cast that net a little bit wider, that's why an event really helps. Plus, all 8 games are going to be nationally televised, they're going to be web streamed, so exposure wise it's a great event for us, particularly this time of year when people are looking for things to do.
Now, and I imagine you mentioned there are some teams from California. I imagine some of those families have never even heard of Samford. I mean, let alone gone to the Southeast. That's almost a different country, the Southeast, compared to California.
I would imagine a lot of them, when they heard the tournament was at Samford, they said, in Palo Alto? No, not at Stanford. It's Samford and Birmingham, and we think it's going to be a great experience for all the teams and for their fans and for everybody who just likes high school basketball.
That is great, and great for Samford as a university. Now talk a little bit about, I'm sure there's been a lot of prep work. Just summarize, I guess, what sort of activities, preparation goes into a big event like this?
It's really sort of mind-boggling, everything that goes into a tournament of this scope. We started bidding on this event back in July when we were approached by the Alabama High School Association to bid, along with a couple other venues in Birmingham. So site visits and putting in a bid and everything else, and then you get the bid and it's sort of, wow, now we actually have to execute this tournament. And so a lot of logistical things. We've got great counterparts in our division from our event management office and public safety, and so those folks have really helped us get ready in terms of traffic and parking, getting the facility ready, and the folks who come in and run the tournament, they do a great job as well, and so they'll really transform this building by the time tip-off starts tomorrow into a venue that really is, it's a first-rate venue to begin with, but it'll really be branded in a beautiful way and ready for all the teams.
And you mentioned the venue. This is a new venue for Samford, relatively new, 2 years, and you've been the director since we've had this building on campus 2 years ago. You've known the events that have happened, obviously, because you're the director. How does this compare with other things that have happened?
Well, I think from a national scale, this is the biggest thing, just because it's casting our net wider than we have before and bringing in the level of exposure we haven't seen. I mean, of course, I'm always partial to the events that are Samford events. That, opening night was a very special thing to finally get this building up and off the ground. The first commencement was a great event. Having the Davidson game last year with a sold-out crowd was a fantastic event for our men's basketball team and our entire athletic department. But for us, from the Hanna Center, from something that we've sort of had the opportunity to go out and bid for and bring here and kind of take ownership of, it's the type of event that frankly wouldn't have come to Samford before we had the Pete Hanna Center. And so for us, it may be just about the biggest event we've done.
Great, and hopefully big events to continue after this. Now in closing, quickly, can you tell a little bit, maybe if someone is trying to figure out maybe a little more information or how they can find out more information
Sure.
about this tournament, just fill us in on that?
They can go to our website, which is samford.edu/ops/Hanna, or to tmobileinvitational.com. Those two places have all the information. We'll open gates about 90 minutes before tip-off, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Tickets are still available. It's a great price, just $10 a day for adults, $6 for students, and you can't beat it for the price to come out and get 4 games of great high school basketball entertainment.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us here in the Pete Hanna Center, your building. It was great to sit with you again. That's Sean Wright, Director of the Pete Hanna Center.
Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Bulldog Conversation with Nathan Troost. The Adventure Bus Charter's halftime show continues in a moment. This is the Samford Sports Network.